The number one rule when it comes to a situationship is that it's not a relationship.
Curious if they like you or not? I live by the Hickey Rule.
Situationships, canon event.
I'm not a sleep first kind of person.
But you're a situationship kind of person.
He just said he doesn't want to see you anymore. And that sucks for you.
They don't care if they go to a bar tonight and someone sees that they have a hickey. They do not care if they do not bag that person because of it.
Welcome to Real Girl World, your go-to destination for all things dating and relationships. Here we speak the truth about real issues while adhering to YouTube's guidelines.
I find that most people in situationships will act as if they are in a relationship, even though it's defined as this person she's dating wants to be defined as single.
My name's Hannah Jordan, and I'm starting to think that situationships might be a bit of a trap for people, that it's a power struggle. And by that, what I mean is one person's inherently aware of their value being higher than the others, which means there's always one party who is constantly chasing the other. And when there is an imbalance there because of whatever is perceived value on either side, that means usually someone's going to get hurt.
And it's important for your friend to act single. The problem is she wants to prove to herself or her ego, or whatever you want to call it, that she can win. She can do this. She can change him. And she puts him on this pedestal because, why would she possibly wait this long for a loser?
Unfortunately for us, I think part of the problem is that Disney and media has sold us this lie that we can all be some kind of Disney princess and somehow the exception to the rule, but that's not the case for everybody.
But what if I'm the exception?
No, you're not. You're not at all. In fact, you're the rule. And the rule is this. If the guy doesn't call you, he doesn't want to call you.
So the question is, are situationships avoidable or are they just inevitable?
Situationships, canon event. You will get through it no matter what. It's not the end of the world.
Worst is when your friends are like, don't reply. And you're like, no, you don't know him like I do.
For those of you who don't know, a canon event is a TikTok trend where it basically means it's unavoidable. Let's face it though, you are in full control of the type of relationships you get to have.
Heartbreak wasn't even a real breakup. It was like a situationship that fizzled out. Did he tell me he loved me every time he got drunk and then wouldn't talk to me?
Yes. Did he ghost her?
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes. But that's okay. It grew character.
No, it's not okay.
The good news is, if you're tired of situationships, you can actually choose to opt out, and it's easier than you might think. All you have to do is get a commitment before getting physical with someone, because then you don't get attached emotionally and you're less likely to be hurt in the process when you realize they're not actually right for you.
So trust me when I say, if a guy is treating you like he doesn't give a shit, he genuinely doesn't give a shit. No exceptions.
If you want to avoid a situationship, there's just 3 easy things you have to do, but you have to do them. Be an intentional dater. Number 1, talk to your love interest. Number 2, tell them that you want a relationship. And most importantly, number 3, don't have sex without a commitment. That way you can avoid what's next.
I'm here with
Karis,
are you single?
Yeah. No, not really.
Yes, you are. You said yes now. It's too late.
No, situationship, you know?
So you're definitely single.
Yes, if you're in a situationship, you are single. And, some people would even go to say if you're not married, you're definitely single. But today we're just talking about situationships, and the reality is there's no loyalty there because there's no defined boundary. Which is why in this next clip, the interviewer isn't concerned about crossing any lines with his next question.
Do you find me attractive?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
That was a really negative kind of.
I mean, I'm in a situationship.
You'll notice that he continues to press her to find out if she finds him attractive, because he's obviously trying to pick her up, but he doesn't recognize the situationship as being a legitimate relationship the way that she does.
That was a really negative kind of.
I mean, I'm in a situationship.
So, do you find me attractive?
Yeah.
What would you rate me out of 10?
8.
Would you sleep with me?
No.
Why?
I'm not a sleep first kind of person.
But you're a situationship kind of person.
Don't do me like that.
Did you notice how she contradicted herself when he asked her if she would sleep with him, and she said no, she's not a sleep first kind of person. But obviously that's not true, as he points out, because she's in a situationship. She absolutely is that kind of a person. So this is what I want people to understand. If you can't demonstrate that you have self-respect by standing up for your principles, then people just aren't going to take you seriously.
He's a 10, but
But he has a girl best friend.
my one is she's a 10, but she treats the situationship like a relationship.
I've been dumped. And my friends are like, he didn't break up with you. You weren't together. You saw each other a nice amount of times in a short period. He just said he doesn't want to see you anymore. And that sucks for you. But it is what it is. And you didn't get dumped. Like, move on.
As difficult as it is to accept, her friends were right, and it's important because the heart doesn't know the difference between a situationship and a relationship. So if you want to avoid heartbreak, you have to equip yourself with that knowledge. Now, this next video is truly unique. This girl has this Golden Hickey Rule for determining whether or not somebody is into you, and spoiler alert, it's not good.
Curious if they like you or not? I live by the Hickey Rule. If they are okay with you giving them a hickey, maybe we'll let them pass if it's like the neck, but like anywhere below, like shoulders and down, if they get very, very mad, also like the scale of how mad they get matters. If they get super, super, super mad, there's already someone that they're ready to bag that they want to be in a relationship with. If they get kind of mad, you can try to figure it out, but in general, you know that you are winning if they do not give a fuck.
It's an interesting theory, and maybe there's some truth to it, but I just wouldn't use this to gauge how well your relationships are going to go. In fact, there are much better ways of determining whether or not somebody likes you, and I would just advise you do the simple thing and just have a conversation and be intentional.
They don't care if they go to a bar tonight and someone sees that they have a hickey. They do not care if they do not bag that person because of it, because they think you are the top of their perspective people. Like, that's how you know.
The other thing I'd like to state about this method is that just because you're wearing a hickey doesn't mean that other people are going to assume that you are taken. In fact, you'll notice that high quality people don't generally walk around wearing hickeys, and that's simply because it looks cheap. And I also just say, can we please not use the knife like this? Always point the blade away from your hand. So in conclusion, I know everybody loves the ups and downs, but relationships don't have to be all chaotic and crazy, and there's something to be said for finding some reliability and consistency and stability in the person that you're with. And if you want a way out of these situationships and you're miserable and tired of going in circles, the best way is to opt out. Opt out of this situationship. That is, to not accept it as an option. And if you don't, you're more than likely going to be wasting your time. And also, don't assume that you're going to be the exception, because we live in the real girl world, not Disneyland. Be an intentional dater, have that conversation early on, state your intentions and stick to it. Show your worth by setting those boundaries, and by deciding to not have bedroom fun before there's a commitment. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you have enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing so that I can provide you with more advice on how to navigate dating in the real girl world.